welcome to episode 46 of The Card Show. Big one this week, we obviously news from Topps Conference. Crazy stuff going around there, it's not good. But anyway, Topps Conference, we have the Fanatics events, new locations, playoffs, NBA, NHL, the Premier League title, the relegation, Formula One with a new winner finally, and some other things. So let's get into it. We'll start with obviously the Topps Conference, which is probably the biggest thing. Big shout out to Card Collector 2 for his quite informative Instagram posts. He was over at the Topps Conference. We talked about the Topps composite football. It was obviously Stroud, Levis, Brady, Bryce, Emmett, Marino, having all those. Which is going to be interesting. Obviously there's a motif footballer, which is 6 autos per box with a parallel or to 20 or less. To higher end product, same sign as composite, which is interesting. Collegiate Chrome football, obviously Ryan Collegiate is a big into his collegiate stuff with him being a Ohio State Buckeye fan, so that's going to be interesting for the people that are interested in that. And obviously, I've talked about before with people who make them plays, have signed these, getting these signatures, and then selling them in the future when they become first round picks. We're seeing quite a lot at the moment with obviously Kelly Williams cards in his market. Obviously last year now Stroud stuff in Panini, so his sort of unlicensed stuff with Leaf have gone kind of crazy their prices, so that's what that is. Topps College Royalty Football, and again high end. Bowman Chrome, people are happy for this Bowman Chrome to be back. It's been a while. Best Football, and it's a Bowman Chrome Best Football released in September, October. It's going to be interesting. There's going to be new Star Wars products, Galactic Antiquities and Hyperspace. Very interesting. Star Wars Finest. Dune Topps Chrome. So if you've seen the prices of the current Dune products, it's obviously capitalising on that one, which is interesting. There's going to be a high-tech Stranger Things, Garbage Pail Kids Chrome, Battle of the Bands Green Day, which is interesting. Mars Attacks Xmas, which is sort of a film from way back in the day. It's interesting to see that getting some product time. Soccer wise, there is Topps Chrome UCC, which again jumbo and breaker SKUs coming this year. So it means more sort of products of that. Sapphire as well, which we all love Sapphire. Finest, Stadium Club, Women's Champions League Chrome. It's going to be good for that side of things because we know the women's market cards is growing quite massively. They're getting Sapphire, which is good. Midnight Bundesliga, which is tier 1 at Bundesliga, is returning. And MLS debut patches, which we've talked about before, they'll be coming soon as well. 3 products for the MLS, which is Chrome, Finest and Renaissance. And there's more, so we're getting a dynasty as well in soccer. 100% on-card autos, 100% match-worn patches, which is something we obviously want at the point now. We've been saying that this needs to be sorted in the hobby, so it's kind of good. Interesting to say as well is all of them are big name signers. No release it yet, but targeting this year. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. It's going to be an expensive set, as you can imagine, but I think it's going to be one that people are going to clamour for nonetheless, just because it's on card, it's matched worn as well, always helps. New F1 products, so we have a Paddock Pass, which is similar to a stadium sort of club scenario. We've got parallels with F1 Finest as well. Dynasty will feature booklets, Topps Chrome F1, new inserts, F1 armour. So interested in investing still in them sort of sports. Obviously UFC as well. So Midnight, it's going to be a Knockout UFC, Gold Label UFC, Topps Finest UFC, and Topps Royalty. So again, they're investing in these sort of, I won't say niche sports, but these sort of emerging sports. Another good one as well is tennis, with Tennis Chrome and Graphite Tennis. The plus side now is, unlike the original tennis set we had last year with Chrome and Sapphire, we now have actual modern day players signing. So we have Alcaraz and Novak Djokovic, my goat right there. And it's going to be Graphite and also Royalty Tennis. Essentially tennis racket knobs in tennis. in these tennis products. It'd be kind of crazy. So that's obviously always going to be good news to hear from the conference that Topps are investing heavily in new products, emerging sports. One thing I will say is with the NFL, and I'm sure you've seen the mock-ups to NBA as well on the Chrome. I think it's a Wembanyama for the NBA. I can't remember who the NFL one was. It's unlicensed still for the next year, so obviously they're pushing out the Stroud autos. And it's going to be rookie cards, and say Wembanyama, and it's going to be later on. It's unlicensed. And I've talked about this before with Leaf cards. I've talked about, obviously we've got Futera over here in UK, and I always sort of similarly compare them to Leaf, as in not all their cards are licensed. Some of the Futera kits, it's a very blank kit, and sometimes it gets a little bit disrespected, but I think they do have a lot of licenses, and I think you can do a lot more with it, especially when it comes to sort of the rookie side of things and the superstar kind of thing. And now we're seeing a lot of people didn't really like it or disrespected it. Now Topps are doing licensed cards. I saw it with the recent Euros one with England in like a blue kit. These false prophets and people are trying to hype everything up for you always. Always be on the side of Topps. Oh, they're amazing still. Well, that same energy for Leaf and for Futera when they're doing the work, So it's the picture of Wembanyama is kind of smart. They've done it. Leaf did it quite similar with Giannis. Had it back in the day, 3 or 4 years ago. It was a Giannis auto, and his sort of back was to the picture. He's looking over, so there's you can't really tell it's unlicensed because of that. Because he's no badge, no Nike thing. So it's interesting how they're going to use these photos to sort of show it's the person, but unlicensed. They'll be very smart with it. There'll be a lot of plays where they'll be sort of covering. I reckon there'll be lots of that sort of stuff. I think it was CJ Stroud it was, and he's sort of throwing. So you get away with it being unlicensed, but it's going to be interesting to other people that were so against unlicensed cards and they're not good investments. Now you're going to have CJ on, possibly on card autos will be unlicensed by Topps. Let's see what happens there. Let me know your thoughts. That's the important part. What are your thoughts on this? Are Topps pulling the wool over our eyes? Are the hobby fanboys gonna come out and say how great Topps are for doing this, but still slag off all these other companies that don't have licenses? Next up, we're also going to have talked briefly on Fanatics events. Obviously, they talked about Fanatic Fest in NYC in August. Very gutted. I'll probably not be attending that one. Is literally when I was in New York, I was, I think, a block away from this. I stayed right there at Hudson Yards. I was right near the vessel, and this is literally where this is. It would have been a good show to go to and spend some time in New York again, which had a great time, and hit up Bleakers and stuff like that, and coffee and cards. They've announced some more. So obviously, following on from August, we have Fanatics events, PNC Park in Pittsburgh on the 28th to 29th of September, and then in November we have Fanatics Fest Orlando, taking place on November the 1st to November the 3rd. It's good to see that it started dotting around, and it's kind of thick and fast. So August, September, November. So I won't be surprised if we get one in New Year somewhere. Should not be announced soon. It'll be interesting what happens there. When we'll sort of it expands outside of the States. Obviously they've hit out this year's sort of calendar, the 3 they've got this year in the US. Next year, is it going to be a similar sort of 2-month scenario? Will it be 1 month America, 1 month Europe, 1 month America? Sort of do it that way. Because I think there's scope for us over the rest of the world to be doing it. I think Asia's got a good market for it. Germany, Holland, France, Spain, England, even Ireland. Get in touch with Stock Card United boys and sort of Ireland. They know how to for a good event. So I think there's definitely scope over Europe to have it. Six a year? 6 years in Europe, dotting it around. Norway. Norway have good shows. So possibly have a couple in Europe. It'd be nice. That's all I'm saying. But let me know if you fancy going one. Obviously unfortunately don't think I'll be attending any of those. One of them's, I suppose that would be nice. Of my wife's birthday, it'd be kind of cool to take it to her to go, but it's Pittsburgh, I suppose. But yeah, you could do a bit of a trip out of it. Orlando in November, near my birthday. Be nice. Catch a game as well. But let me know your thoughts on that one. Then let's touch before I go into products as well. To go into sports, touch on the roast of Tom Brady. If you've not seen it, it's on Netflix. It's 3 hours 5 minutes long. Some funny bits in there. What's interesting was they touched quite a lot on the Aaron Hernandez incident. It's obviously sort of, I don't say been deleted from history, obviously, but it's sort of not talked about as much. It's obviously not good for the victims' families, etc. But this was talked about quite a lot in this roast. I mean, this is the thing with comedy. You sort of touch on these sort of things. You can talk about anything and everything. I thought, well, Brady handled himself well. Some good comedy acting there. So Kevin Hart, Jeff Ross, Andrew Schultz, for instance. Even Julia Elman was funny. Usually when you have sort of Netflix documentaries coming up or anything to do with sort of them being in the news, you're going to see sort of a spike. I've not seen too much looking at the data on market movers. There's been I think it's like a 1% rise over the last 7 days when it was announced over some of his cards. So it'll be interesting as more people hear about it and watch it, if there's more of a spike in his cards. Gronk, Edelman, Randy Moss is on there. Obviously Bill Belichick is on there. Willie McGinnis, Amendola, and some other people make little appearances. Some people that do have sort of little roast of Brady, some are just there for moral support, I suppose. So yeah, I'd be interested to see if we do see a spike in their cards in the next couple of weeks. It's a funny, good watch. It's interesting. It's a little bit at the end, which I'm hoping lights a fire under a certain chief. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. I'll let you guys watch it to the end to see what that's about. But yeah, now to go over to sports. Hey there, sports fans. So, Premier League, we are, for most teams, obviously apart from my team and a few others, we're 2 games out from the end of the season now. So Sheffield United have gone down. They are done. Kind of a poor performance from them. 16 points, not great. It is. Burnley are still in with a very slim chance. Obviously, we're still awaiting the Nottingham Forest results from their appeal. I'll say they have 4 points deducted, which is, I think, is kind of bad because you're 2 weeks out. If that gets announced next week, for instance, it puts in the last game of the season. I think it is Burnley, Nottingham Forest last game of the season. Forest might have got them 4 points back, which means it's done. So that's kind of annoying. I think the Premier League, if anything, I'm pretty sure the whole point of their lesser points, I think they got 4 points because they just accepted everything was no rebuttal, and now they're sort of appealing it. So it's kind of like you took a plea deal essentially, but now you're going against it. I think they should have a original 6-point fine for now appealing it personally, and it makes things more interesting because that would put them on 27 points, Luton on 26, and Burnley on 24 with 2 games left for them 3 teams. They're the only 4 that can go down. Well, the last 3 that can go down: Burnley, Luton, and Forest. Brentford are very, very much safe, being 10 points above the drop zone with 2 games left. Everton, I mean, what's mad to think is they're 15th at the moment. There's 2 games left on 37 points, 3 points behind Palace in 14th. If they didn't have them 6 points deducted, they would be 14th, 2 points behind 12th, which is kind of crazy. Joint with Fulham on 13th, but a bit less on goal difference. So that's kind of crazy to think there where they could have been going into the last 2 games of the season. Could be up there literally with a chance of being as high as 9th. Depending on how games go. West Ham on 49. After that, United on 54. So West Ham haven't been in rich vein of form, have they? So to say they get 1 point in the next 2 games is quite possible. I think they play City on the last game of the season as well, so you could argue they may get no points. So it's kind of crazy. I'm sure Everton fans must feel happy to be in the Premier League, but it's crazy to think that the stuff they've done with building new ground and the penalties they've taken where they could have been without it. What a some more of a successful season it would have been. I mean, they've won 12 games, Palace have won 10 that are above them. So, Fulham won 12, Brighton have won 12, Brighton at 11th sort of thing. It's 6 points. It is what it is. You do the crime, do the time. I know they've been involved with the Premier League and this, that, the other, but it is what it is there. Not for me to talk about. But in the top half of the table, the interesting part, this year anyway, has been a bit of a two-horse race last couple of years, but this year it was interesting. Liverpool fell off a little bit. 2 games left. They are currently 4 points behind Man City, have a game in hand, and a whopping 5 points behind Liverpool. But again, both have the same amount of games, so it looks like their title run is done. I can't see both City and Arsenal losing the last 2 games. It's 3 for City and Arsenal winning them too. I think the big one now is obviously that fourth spot. Tottenham do have the ability to win all 3 games and be 2 points clear of Villa, but they need to lose their last 2 games. I don't think that's going to happen, so I think Villa will be in Champions League next year, which is crazy. Tottenham probably got that 5th spot. They are 4 points clear of Newcastle, but they are not playing well at the moment with 4 defeats on the bounce. That's not going to help. Newcastle have been a bit patchy. I think they've won 2, lost 1, won 2 in the last 5. So Chelsea have all of a sudden hit form in their 7th, which is kind of crazy. They could get up there as well, theoretically. Again, they're a very patchy side. Same with Man United, very patchy. 1 win in the last 5, 3 draws, 1 loss, which is crazy. It'll be interesting to see how the season does pan out. I think Arsenal have gone from strength to strength. The goal difference, it shows that, 6 goals clear of Man City. Yes, City have a game in hand, but that's, what they got: Fulham, Tottenham and West Ham, I believe. Crazy way to end your season. Hoping Londoners do you a favour so other Londoners don't win the title. Whether that will impact any of the teams, I don't know, because I think Tottenham are still fighting for that 5th spot, so I can't see them just rolling over. West Ham, I know they've just announced there's a really deal with the former Wolves manager. I'm not going to pronounce that name. It's just kind of weird whether the players just show up shop now, or whether they try and fight for their place next year, or fight for Moyes' send-off. We'll see. But nonetheless, it's going to be an interesting end to the season. Shame, obviously, we don't have any teams in Champions League or Europa League anymore. That is what that is. But we move on. We'll move on to NHL, because we are there now into round 2. So we have the Dallas Stars versus the Colorado Avalanche. That yet has not started their round 2 just yet. We have Edmonton Oilers versus Vancouver Canucks. Again, not yet started. We have the Boston Bruins versus the Florida Panthers. Again, not yet started their 2nd round games. But we do have the New York Rangers and the Carolina Avalanches, which I saw in the beginning of January. I think it was the 3rd or 4th. Carolina Hurricanes even. Did I say Avalanches then? I don't know what I said. Yeah, the Canes. Obviously, I saw the game where the Canes absolutely slaughtered them. Wasn't a good game to go to. But no, the New Rangers are currently 1-up in that series. Only one that's kicked off round 2. Going to be interesting. I'm hoping Rangers can come through there. I think Bruins will probably do that. So I think it'll be Rangers, Bruins. I'm going to go Oilers and Colorado Avalanches. Put it out there. Put it into ether. See what happens. But exciting times in what they say is the hardest trophy to win, the Stanley Cup. So, I could be way off with my predictions. We're going to go now to the NBA playoffs. Everyone loves the NBA playoffs, right? Obviously, we have Celtics versus Cavs. I just think Celtics. I'm glad that the Cavs beat Magic. I think it's their first series win without LeBron, which is kind of crazy. But no, I'm glad for Donovan Mitchell and the rest in there. Darius Garland. etc. But no, I think Celtics will. I don't want to say sweep. I think Cavs might have a game, but it's going to be like a. Yeah, it's not going to be good. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm not going to go. I'm not going to say a game. I'm going to say Celtics take it. I believe. Pacers next. Now this is interesting because I didn't think the Pacers would do the Bucks. Right, Celtics do Cavs 4-1. I'm going to say Knicks, Pacers. Oh, Jesus. Halliburton, no. Halliburton. Alright, I'm gonna go with Knicks. Don't know why. Knicks, probably game 7 again. 4-3. I say game 7 again. It was 4-2 last time, but yeah, 4-3. What? 4-2. Wait. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm still saying Knicks though. We have Thunder versus Mavs. As much as I like the Thunder, first seed of the West, Luke and Kyrie, man, they just get it done. Chet and Shea though. Oh, that's gonna be a good game, you know. That's gonna be good. Right, I'm saying Mavs. I'm saying Luka gets to his first conference finals. Timberwolves, the only one that's like playing games yet in the semi-finals is the T-Wolves and Nuggets. T-Wolves won the first game. I did not see that happening. I do think those will come back. I think that could be a 4-3. That could be game 7. That's going to be a very close series. But don't quote me on that. Nuggets Mavs, I'm saying, no, that's crazy. That's crazy. What am I doing? What am I doing myself? Bold statements, I know. In other sports news, we had obviously Formula 1. We had a new race winner. I think everyone in the sporting world was happy for Lando Norris to win his first F1 race. 110 races, etc. You know, it's as much as it's you don't pray on someone's downfall. It was nice to see someone else win. It made it a bit more interesting. And he raced his race. You know, got lucky with the yellow flag. He went in and pitted. You know, nice. You got the job done. So I'm happy for Lando. It'd be interesting to see how McLaren progress this year. I think they've got 2 really good drivers, Lando and Oscar Piastri. So keep making little improvements to their car, and they could be up there for the second spot. Ferrari obviously are strong, but yeah, I think McLaren are a bit of a sleeper team. The Papayas. Just going to touch briefly on the new Dortmund set that's got released by Topps. Vernissage. I don't know if that means anything in English. If it translates, I don't know. Maybe that is English. I don't know. Vernissage. What I like about this is you have a Magnum Opus card, which is designed by a German artist, Aliou Sawane. Again, apologies if I butchered your name. Just saying how I read it. But I kind of like the fact that they're doing sort of team sets and including local. Well, I say localized like country artists. It'll be interesting to see what happens in the future if that's something that carries on. And we've obviously seen other teams that they've done with Juventus and Atletico Madrid, Paris Saint-Germain, obviously Man City, Liverpool, etc. So it'd be nice to have local artists or British artists and Spanish artists, etc. do some designs for cards. So yeah, I'd be interested. I mean, can you imagine a Banksy one? That'd be crazy. Hunt down Banksy to get into a Banksy card. But no, it's nice that they're involved in sort of the art world as well. We've seen it a lot with Tyson Becks in top, and at the moment, I think everyone seems to be quite obsessed with piggy banks. Custom cards. Obviously in the UK we have someone called Card Ninja, who does custom cards. He works with artists as well. Hopefully we can get him on the podcast soon. We've been in contact. But yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to hear sort of his process, because he's not someone who just creates cards. He gets artists involved, and he does limited runs of their artwork on cards. But yeah, hopefully we can get them on soon and we can go for that sort of stuff. We're speaking with Ben from Further Down as well on current Kurt's Card Care stuff. I mean, they have a lot more information, being a supplier and someone who uses that product pretty much daily. So hopefully we get that one sorted out soon. It was supposed to be last week, but unfortunately Ben fell ill. So yeah, and the other thing, it's a weird one to touch on, but it's something that's been sort of dotted around. Obviously, there's been a lot of loaded boxes and this, that, the other, and now London Card Show have announced that the 1/1 for their show is a Ronaldo 1/1 in Real Madrid kit, from the Topps Showtime boxes. So it's funny that there's no such thing as loaded boxes, but you can guarantee this card's going to be at this show. And I get it, how can someone say that there's going to be this card at the show? Maybe that's how the print run goes. They say, right, we do a print run of, it was going to be 4,000, I think was it 4,000 people over the weekend? So you say, okay, we do 3,000 boxes. Because maybe let's just say 50-50 of sports and TCG. So then we say 2,000, so people might buy more than one box, but maybe only half of people do. So let's just say 3,000 boxes for simple maths. If they could say we're going to print 3,000 boxes, then they know, what a card's going to be in them. What's going to be interesting is who pulls this card. We hope it's just a family, some random person buys it, some kid. It's going to be interesting. We have what we had last time at the other show, where it was a breaker that got it. There was a lot of finger pointing and chin wagging about, it's funny how a show exclusive gets picked by a breaker. It gets the one. I think another breaker bought it off that breaker. It's funny what people want to put into equations and conspiracies. But yeah, I don't think there's too much wrongdoing there of them announcing there's going to be this Ronaldo 1/1 at the show. I don't think they sort of have a massive all of them and just say, right, well, let's pick these nonsense ones and that's one good one and we'll take it, and everyone can just hunt for this one card. And they sort of X marks the spot and put it there, and just randomly hand it out, or we'll give it to our favourite social guy. But I think the funny thing is going to be is you probably will only see this card if it's someone that's on the socials. So all of a sudden it's, this guy's got a social presence, of course he's going to get the card. You're not able to win. The person that wants to invest, I think it's £50 a box, is probably going to invest £120 in the boxes to buy 4 of them to up his chances. That breaker got him because he bought 8-10 boxes that he bought. So it's going to be interesting who picks it. I don't think there was too much wrongdoing there, but I don't know how Topps works. Maybe you have done that way. In my head, I just think maybe they'll just do a short print run per show. They'll say, right, here's 3,000 for that show. I suppose then how do you guarantee it gets pulled, I suppose? Because if you don't sell 3,000 boxes, then what, just give them to Harry to rip and EPL pulls it? I don't know. Maybe they have to rip it, I don't know. So yeah, it'll be interesting. The chase is on anyway, it makes it more interesting for the show. Gets you spending more of your money. My advice would be, buy it if you want to buy it, it's your money. And if you're looking for an investment, then obviously, £50 could be better, or £100, box you want to buy would be better spent elsewhere than to gamble like this. Especially if you believe that, it's going to go to someone like a breaker or someone anyway. What's the point of wasting money? Invest in the cards, use the data, look for sell markers, etc. And on that note, I want to shout out a few people, to be fair, because I don't do it enough, but I'm going to shout out a few people. I'm going to shout out, I want to get his actual Instagram correct, if I actually find where Instagram is in here. It's there, isn't it? There we go. So, I want to shout out to MD Sports Cards 11. If you're not following, get following. They literally just put a post the other day about when they bought a card back in 2021. Jordan Love, the price was low because everyone else went to Mac Jones or Zach Wilson, so he went where they weren't going. And now the last Comta card was 4x, like 400 plus. So again, someone that's I suppose this person, they've been in touch. We've conversed. I'm not going to say too much, but they do the research. They look at how long certain players were sat at that same franchise and what the development was like, and it's come off well for them. And again, people think, or people are going to tell you, oh, I bought this card or I bought this box and I got this money from, I see it on certain people's Instagrams, like, oh, I bought this box for 400, and you go through the cards and tell how much to lose, and then all of a sudden, there's so much. It's like, no one's really here to tell you how this actually really works. Well, I will. You have to do the work. It's not just simple as you buy a box and this card's worth X amount. You could buy Prism with guaranteed auto. You may get a really bad auto. Do the work. If you want to be in this continually to make money, you have to do the work. Yes, you're going to lose some on the way. It's a learning process, it's the way it is, unfortunately. It's not all candy and whatever they want to make out. You have to do the work. There's tools out there where it's free to that 130 point eBay, last sold items. It'll tell you the seller, what the market is, buying things out for and selling things out for. You have to watch the games as well. You can't just quick look at the box stats or anything. Watch the games, watch these players, and you'll see sort of talent. You'll see who's not really it. But that's unfortunately that's it. And MD Sports Cards 11 did the work, and it's paying off for him. And I'm glad to know it's not just a one-off. They've done it before, so you guys have to do the work. Shout out to Morts_collectibles as well. Just a really nice person in the hobby. The list does go on. I could talk about, let's get the card.ninja, who hope we have on the show soon. Obviously my boy Sports Card Scotland over in the US at the moment, hitting up some card shows there as well, which is kind of cool. Obviously everyone knows Sports Card UK Dan, Third Down Displays, RP Trading Card, HJA, the Top Money Posco boys. The list does go on, honestly. Scotland's Card Show, 90s Collector, London City Cards, Rainy, where do we stop here? JJJ Dot Cards, El Toro, the list does go on. But these are people that are in this hobby sort of religiously every day, doing the work, putting out content for you guys. Give them a follow. Progress your hobby knowledge. But yeah, that's enough of me rambling for another episode. I'll be back end of the week with some data as always. Until then, see you guys soon.